He insulted them in a stylish way, but most people didn't know. He insulted them because when this guy was doing all these things, you didn't call him to order, and you're coming here to tell me to release him on presidential whatever. He insulted them stylishly, but they didn't see it. Most people didn't really see it that way. He's a very, very smart man. You might think he's foolish because he doesn't talk too much. He's very smart. I read an interview with Fashola, and Fashola said, this man that people think he's an introvert, very shy. But if he talk once, the whole place will quake. As it is now, in that 1999 whatever, that trick was very opened. A Yoruba man and another Yoruba man. But we know the one that we want. That is the military saying it. We know the one we want. But the people that could do the job for APP that time were already in jail. Al-Mustafa handed over to Abdul Salam. Abdul Salam collected it in September or November. They posted, I think in August, they posted Al-Mustafa to Enugu. Before you know, Al-Mustafa, Bameyi, Omenka, Kose Domenka. Omenka was already in US, still in US up till today. I don't know if he has entered the country, but still in US up till today. The strong men that could lead that EPP force for Olufalaye, they were already in jail. And when I see people say Obasanjo was the candidate for the Southwest, I say, you people don't even know anything. You just come and talk this. Someone that lost his own Southwest region. That was why he didn't really do anything here now. Throughout his tenure, what significant difference? The road to his house, to his hometown, is worst. I mean, worst. He didn't do anything because they didn't support him. Let us stop. Let us understand politics properly and listen to people than talking. I was in that other room. I was just hearing some people say, I just looked like, I was just laughing. I was laughing.
You are correct. And also there's one particular thing they mentioned in that room that I felt needed to be corrected. You know, when people were downplaying the profile of former Vice President Alex Ekweme. Alex Ekweme is very few people's mate. You understand? So when people are trying to say, "Oh, Alex Ekweme wasn't as strong as Olufalaye," no, you can't compare them. Alex Ekweme is leagues ahead of Olufalaye, but Olufalaye was brought there as a Babangida tool, so that when Obasanjo wins election, you won't have any difficulty. Do you understand? They were in different parties altogether, and there was no way you could compare their pedigree. Alex Ekweme was a man of mighty stature in business, in politics, and in governance. So when people start climbing stages to say things like, who is Alex Ekweme, then you know you have no business discussing with those people over the issue of politics before Buhari's tenure in 2015. Do you understand me? Alex Ekweme was a very, very great man, and it was a battle for Obasanjo to get over him. But because he was planned that way, Babangida Group versus Abacha Group. Was it not IBB who scuttled his own friend MKO Abiola's presidency on prodding by his wife, late Maria Babangida? Sorry, but I have to tell you the truth. She was the one who told Babangida to be a man. She didn't want to leave the villa. And the others too. And they knew that they were going to probably assassinate MKO if Babangida handed over to him. And that was why Babangida picked Ernest Shonekon, Yoruba guy. He was head of a conglomerate then called UAC, and everyone knew about him. And they made him the interim president of Nigeria. There are other people they could have picked in that mold. People like Christopher Kolade. There are so many Yoruba names of repute that they had, but they felt that Shonekon, money-wise and everything-wise, was sound. But Babangida never imagined that Abacha would take over so soon. So even that November, Abacha's guys had no clue that Abacha was going to take over. But November 17th, I remember it was Tutupai that called me and said, Baba is now the head of state. I was like, what? Say yes. That Shonekon handed over to him. Even though we were later on to learn that Shonekon didn't hand over to him, they actually just told Shonekon, thank you for your services. And it was military regime. If you grew up in that time, you know what military regime means. Soldier, boots on the ground. Man, you don't play in that regime. You don't play. So once those guns were cocked and they thanked him for his services, you understood what was happening. Babangida was informed. Babangida said, since it's Abacha, don't say anything, don't do anything. But Babangida kept using an emissary so he could have control over General Abacha. That emissary was a guy called, and a very, very respected man, few may have heard of, General Hassan Katsina. General Hassan Katsina was the figurative head of what they used to refer as the Kaduna Mafia. General Hassan Katsina was the one who kept going to see Abacha to keep Abacha in check.
Even the Katsina Mafia, even anybody familiar with
you are in the matrix, so Governor, you are in the matrix.
I said even the Kaduna Mafia, if you realize.
Maybe you leave the room and come back, or is it just me? Governor, leave the room and come back. Your voice is like grrr, grrr, grrr. Yeah. So it was General Hassan Katsina who was always keeping a tab on Abacha until the day he went to do something on behalf of the former military brass, Babangida and Co. And Abacha knew through Al-Mustafa what General Hassan Katsina was coming to say. And the rule of thumb then was that anybody who disrespected General Hassan, they used to call it General Hassan, but we all know it was General Hassan Katsina. Anybody who disrespected General Hassan that time, the military brass would have no problem turning against you. The military worked in things called unspoken codes at that time. Unspoken codes. And one man who has been untouchable since then, every regime up to tomorrow, probably the only man in Nigeria, apart from my father, who I admire, is General Theophilus Danjuma. Danjuma, every single military regime respected him. But Danjuma would never go to Abacha. He wasn't even feeling too well at that point in time, so he didn't want to bother himself. By then, he hadn't got his oil block, and he hadn't made all this mad money, but he was the one doing the main contract for the Nigerian army. In fact, there was a contract that I think it was it Ibrahim, Gaji, or Mohammed went to go and get by force as President Pekin. And when Abacha had, he even slapped him inside his office. And it was a guy called Gambo Jimeta who had to pacify Mohammed and take him and go and give to him and told him about what happened. Apparently, they went to go and seize a deal which was known to have been given to General Danjuma ever since 1979 or something like that. I can't remember correctly now, but I think it was supply of military boots for the army. So Danjuma, since 1979, has been the one supplying military boots for the army or something like that, either the boots or something like that, And I think Mohammed went to go and try to get it as far as Oga Pekin. They actually gave him because they were afraid of Mohammed. Everybody was afraid of Mohammed. Mohammed was feared. They call him Alaji Mohammed. When you say Alaji, it's Mohammed Abacha. And everybody feared Alaji Mohammed. So they were given. But when Abacha got to know of it, he dealt with the boy. And the boy never forgot. Don't you know this is for General Danjuma? Do you want to put me in trouble as head of state? but Danjuma never went to the villa to go and see Abacha. But General Hassan Katsina was always going there. So that day when Hassan Katsina came, Al-Mustafa informed CEC. CEC said they should give him all the VIP treatment. But he was not going to see him that day because his mind was made up on what he wanted to do. When General Hassan Katsina left around 9 p.m., they were all begging him. Just people were praying for him, begging him, just taking sorry. See. He never went back because he knew that he was going to be demystified by Abacha, and he told Babangida, oh boy, this guy, you can't control him anymore. That was how it had been. It was easy once Abacha left the scene that together with all those former military guys, they decided on who in the military they could trust to midwife Nigeria after the transitional government, because Abdul Salami's 8-month government, and they agreed on Obasanjo. And that was why I had to jump up in that room and say Kwayun was right. It was military versus military. Abacha cronies and money, fresh from government, and Babangida's military structure. And Babangida's structure won. But when Obasanjo got in there, he now remembered that he was a general when Babangida was a colonel. And he cut Babangida and all the rest down to size. So this is the way politics works.
Ogatala,
it's dynamic.
Most of those military guys, they were not expecting OBJ to give room for that Oputa panel.
OBJ was a ghost now, but you see, OBJ, as soon as he won, the Yoruba nation went and supported him. They are smart now. They won't go and so they began to reach out. That's why we're talking about when someone like my friend Prince came saying that this is the Asiwaju was begging Obasanjo at that time to be easy on him when they had their battles. Don't forget that even the same as Bola Tinubu we are supporting was the same person we drove out Lokachin Abacha. All those Tadeko and everybody, they left the country. Abacha regime was not a joke. Al-Mustafa controlled the mosquitoes who beat you in Abuja.
Let me come in and say something.
What do you mean?
For people that don't know about, and I'm sure the guy I mentioned, Ogatala said I should not mention it again, but I'll mention it once again. Even before I claim on Clubhouse, I've always about Ogatala. There's what they call the PBG and the PSF. For people that don't know the military code, it was Abacha's regime that started. It was the presidential bodyguard and the presidential strike force. Those are the people.
Correct. Very correct.
I won't say
they were the biggest power in those days.
No.
We didn't know.
Ogatala, you see Ogatala, you see one thing this guy did. That one thing this guy, Abacha, one move he made was making Al-Mustafa his CSO.
Al-Mustafa was the CSO, and the second in command was a guy called Umar Bature. Umar Bature currently is the guy representing Tambuwal in the executive structure of PDP as organizing secretary. Umar Bature, my God, forget those guys.
Ogatala, that guy, that Al-Mustafa, is fucking smart. All these soldiers that were stationed at the villa, he said, all of you, outside this, the normal military oaths that you take when you're passing out, he gave them fresh oath to take. Brigade of Guards,
Guards Brigade,
Guards Brigade, all of them. He told them.
My brother, you mentioned strike force. Anybody who lived under Abacha, you know strike force, man. Give me a break. Al-Mustafa. When you see Al-Mustafa appear, the next person is CNC. And that was Al-Mustafa calls him CNC. Even when he died, he was screaming. He couldn't touch his body, he was screaming, CNC, get up!
Ogatala.
You need to understand how that period was, I tell you.
Ogatala, you see,
Go ahead, my brother, I'm just a minute.
Even when Dia was plotting the school, Major Fadipe said, the only problem, the only way you can get to the CNC is by taking Al-Mustafa away.
Correct.
If you take Al-Mustafa away, you have already gotten this. You don't catch Abacha like this. That was the only obstacle they had. But what is vexing me was Dia was now lying that he did not plan any coup. But Dia didn't know that coup, there was a coup inside the coup. Bamei and his own people were planning another coup inside that Dia's coup.
Under the bus. The bad guy. I mean, he thought he's my very good friend, NS, but Ishaya Bamei, that man, he was a bad guy. He was too ambitious. He was the most ambitious of all of them. Nobody knows these things, but Ishaya Bamei, he was the most ambitious of all of them. I'm telling you. Poor dear. He never knew what he did. He never experienced it.
He didn't know. Bamei was planning a coup inside that Dia's coup. What Bamei did was he keyed on the enmity between Abacha's camp and Dia's camp.
But Dia not Abacha and Dia themselves. It was their camp, but not the two men themselves.
Not the two men.
Never had a problem with Dia. Loyal, second in command, for God's sake. But a bit too naive.
Oh, Dia thought...
Guys, why don't they talk about the matter at hand? This buy me all of them. They don't go one side. We'll talk about matter at hand. Who write letter, we no write.
See, those guys are still important in the scheme of things.
Damn, I never understand what they have. All those guys are important.
You're forgetting one.
All of them.
You're forgetting the highest of
Can you round up? I think Mazi wants to talk.
Ali Gazwa. All right. Mazi, my brother, let me just say one thing, because Daniela said they're not important, but I'll tell it for a fact.
Daniela doesn't understand.
So let me just tell Daniela something. Just about a week or 2 weeks ago, like Ogatala said, they had a meeting. Anybody that's familiar with KD would know what they call the Sultan Road. And that's where the KD Mafia,
GRA,
Yoruba, Igbo, whatever. GRA, exactly.
A stone's throw from the flying horse.
Exactly. They had a meeting, and remember, this Pius IM went to the meeting. Ojikalu went to the meeting. Both all leaders from all regions, APCO, Igbo, Yoruba, Fulani, everybody went to the meeting just 2 weeks ago for consultation. And it came out in the media that IM went in a closed-door meeting. We even saw when they said Oji Khalid went to a closed-door meeting with PDP. It wasn't actually PDP, but the media with their fake propaganda said it wasn't. It was Oji Uzokalu and the likes of the Pius Ayim, former SP, Senate President. They went into a closed-door meeting with the Kaduna Mafia. So that know that the Kaduna Mafia, they still operates Nigeria till today, till tomorrow, till, by God's grace, if they are still alive, till when they die. And that's the fact about Nigeria. Those people call the shots, regardless of crying will cry on social media. Those are the people that, I pinged in Sadiq al-Bashir. He came on stage, but he left. He said he had something to do, but hopefully he comes back. And I remember one time too, when Muri was talking to us about bandits or no bandits, extremists or no Ogatala wasn't there.
What is Sadiq doing now?
What's it called? Muri Talaya Adora. That was it's the governor of Castina now. And people were shouting at him. And Muri swore, Muri said he would never come back to Clubhouse. So you see, when I even try to ping people in to come and even give us insight, they don't want to come back because they see people are rude, they're out of order. I remember when Auntie Aisha Babangida came on stage that day as well, that people were shouting on her. Then what did General IDB tell us? I can remember that quote, IB, you need to eradicate your team. That was the only word it said. And since then, all these people won't come back. And that's the irony and that's the truth of it. But yeah, Mazi, go on, my brother.
No, I was going to say the response to Damilola. See, listen, brother, right? I don't have much time to spend from like the people running, these guys that we assume to be historic, they're still running their affairs on Nigeria. It's going to be like in the next 10 years before, things that have started from start having different my place now. People that are going to be taking over the market. So now, just get that civic there. DJs and well, I talked about DJs, DJs and Danjo. Still there, these are the guys that want things. So don't think these guys are not there. They're still relevant to the run of dangerous. That's for continue and those guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Sadiq is back. I thought I saw his PTR just now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was Danjuma in the closed door?
No, he was not now. You know, Atiwa Danjuma,
Yeah.
is more or less retired. When things get serious, they will go and meet him.
Ogatala,
Biggest boy.
I want to ask you a question. There's in everything you've been explaining, I kind of understand a little bit, but there's something. There's something I want you to answer. Like, if you have any idea, what happened between Bako and IBB when they overthrew Shagari? Do you have like any idea?
I keep on to say.
Okay,
Ibrahim Bako.
I keep on hearing. Kwayom has come. I keep on hearing this nonsense. He keeps on saying that Obasanjo was not the Yoruba candidate. I beg. I remember vividly. My father was a heavy participant in that just confusion. My father was a loyalist of a man called Tim Benakaya. I don't know who knows who Tim Benakaya is.
Oh, of course. He's my family friend now. Tim Benakaya.
Tim Benakaya later on.
Later on became Minister of Health. A very powerful family. Very powerful family.
Big families of those days. If you remember those days of Temple Mills, see, so when you come to tell me, if Obasanjo was not the candidate for the Yoruba people, how come it was when Obasanjo was chosen in 98 that AD and AMPP decided to go into the alliance? Obasanjo made everybody join that alliance. The choosing of Obasanjo. Then you mentioned T.Y.
The two of you are saying the same thing, no? Because
please mute your mic.
The slot was a Yoruba slot, but the person picked for it by the military was Obasanjo.
Yes, prophetess.
So you are both saying the same thing.
No, he's saying that Obasanjo was not the Yoruba candidate. And let me tell you why I disagree.
He was saying that Obasanjo was military. The military picked Obasanjo before consulting with Yorubas.
Yeah,
but
fair
Yorubas
enough.
got on board. I'm just saying the honest. I lived this period. We were the ones who had the resources that period when Abacha died. So we were part of everything going on.
Tala, let me finish what I'm saying. Now, the reason why I'm saying, no, people keep on saying that it doesn't matter whether
you and Kayum are saying the same thing. You and Kayum are saying the same. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
You're on the same
fair
page,
enough.
please. You're on the same page. Trust me, you're on the same page.
Fair enough.
Those are some
because
go deeper.
Because
APP lost the presidential on purpose. They didn't care about Falaye's presidency. They wanted Obasanjo, who had been picked by those who had been ruling us for long.
That's APP, you mean?
APP, yes, APP. They fought for their party at every level of elective position except presidency.
You're right.
I mean, I'm just telling you.
The only one two states
I was on board now. Harry Akonde was chairman board of trustees, and I was the one hosting him. So what I'm just saying that we look, this is what happened. And now we can talk about it because it's so many years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
What happened was unfair, but now we can talk about it because it was so many years ago.
Like I told someone here that if the AD was so powerful, let me use Abia State. AMPP
was led by a guy called Bola Ige at that point in time.
Yes, that there was a government of national unity. I'm not. Bola Ige became a minister. I'm telling you that the APP then was even still powerful because I remember that Bob Wanono was elected senator in Abia under APP. Abia
Correct.
State.
APP had national spread.
More than AD. So I was
surprised. APP was bigger now. Ogbonayanu was the candidate, but the board of trustees made a deal because Babangida was in all parties, but the Abacha guys, if you came in, maybe you went here earlier, the Abacha guys entered APP, whereas Babangida mid-white that 1999 you are seeing. That 1999 constitution you see all them Tony like talking about. Babangida mid-white it together with the Babangida people as well. With Yadudu. Awole Yadudu from Kadu. professor of law. It was an IBB affair. IBB lost his power the minute they swore Obasanjo in. Anything that happened up to that time in 1999, IBB was a major factor. But the Abacha boys, with their money, went into APP. In fact, some of them also went into the PDP. People like James Dibori. They went into the PDP as well. Abacha money was the money that went round in all the parties. But the Abacha party was APP. At a point in time, we used to yab ourselves calling it Abacha People's Party. Ask anybody. Then when APP now merged with Sale Jambo's UMPP, it now became Babangi, the military party, Abacha's, and then ICOM now got on the board of trustees. And then Don Etiebet became our chairman.
Don Etiebet, the chairman, the minister of petroleum. The man who said he lost how many $1 million there.
Don Etiebet, that man with his big eyeballs, man, was feared. Look, we had people. APP, Prince Audu was APP now.
Yes, that.
When he was governor of Kogi State. Kogi State, yes, now, Adoja. What are you saying? APP was Saraki was APP. Then they had a fight with Oplawa and he put his son knocked out Oplawa, Admiral Lawa. Look, I was hanging out, small boy with small money. I was hanging out with the board of trustee members of our great party. Forget it. So I saw these things firsthand. Buhari was like a figurehead from the start because he wasn't even comfortable with politicians. So the organization that was helping him was the TBO, with dynamic guys like Sule Yahya Hamma, Buba Galadima, this girl, Joy Nune, Ogoni Princess, who was very, very popular in Rivers State at that point in time, Cyrus's daughter.
Do you know who Sergeant Abuse was in Rivers State?
Sergeant Abuse. I stayed at his hotel now in Rivers now. Now in hotel at the state now where they go Rivers.
Sergeant
Abuse was a big dog. He tried to be governor in
Rivers. He fought all the way with a passion. Nothing for Sergeant Abuse.
For those guys brought money to the table. We are always sitting there free of charge.
So for people that I followed Nigeria, I've been a
then Harry Marshall.
Harry, but he was later killed.
Chief Perea Ajua.
Yeah, what happened to that guy ran for presidency and lost?
Yes, now whenever the party goes broke, Perea Ajua they go and
they can't beg you for money.
Do you remember General
He has this house on
Adisa?
Abacha Road in Port Harcourt. Chief Perea Ajua.
You don't know General Adisa. You talk about Usi.
No, I know General Adisa was.
General Adisa,
he was
minister for what now? Abacha guys now.
Abacha guy. I'm talking. These guys were.
He got involved in politics too, but he
I would say them were Rivers strong people.
Sergeant Awuse, big man, big dark man.
Abia Sekibo, all those Tala. Those are Tala.
You know, since we me and Kenny did this app, at least it's in our old man because the way we talk during our time.
What happened
now
was
today I
just
realized me and him did the same age group. Kenny cannot try that nonsense with me again.
No, but the difference is that Keneke got involved, you did not. Let me tell you,
the guy is knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable.
I got involved very early, which is why you see me. You would think if you see me with all these guys, you would think I got involved early, and I was very entrepreneurial, so I had resources, and I'm the kind of person who I won't say take a gamble, but I could risk. Because family was comfortable, so the money I was getting was a bonus. Youth honestly asked for Abacha. I was part of it.
So you were with Daniel Kanu, eh?
Daniel Kanu, Dano, of course now. In fact, Dano they even fear me because when Dano was
where's that guy now? He's doing bodybuilding and
he's been doing bodybuilding from time now. After he had his Homa Jeep, that Jeep that Schwarzenegger was driving, they used to go for 1999.
I hear he's now doing fashion styling.
When Dano boy had his American babe as his wife, you know. So when Dano came on the scene, he carried American English, Qatar and Mustafa and Koden, and go with Abacha. I saw Abacha with his coins. So boy, that time, Abuja Agora Hotel.
And I went to Agora Hotel in 1998. In 1998, Tala. The meat pie and the Scotch egg we ate that, I still remember the taste. That hotel was the best hotel.
Agora Hotel, they keep all the top shots there.
So now you want to bring Abacha?
Yes, now we.
Let me even say something.
Let me ask.
Sorry,
I want to ask the guy that just said something right now. I did not look at the name.
No, sir. No, sir, or something.
Yeah, no, sir. No vex. With all honesty, without being prejudiced or anything, who would you prefer between
Abacha and the Buhari right now. Me, I would prefer Abacha because at that time Nigeria wasn't this bad.
My brother, Nigeria was bad.
Let me put a context out.
I think I would prefer Buhari because
Come on.
see the train line. No, now see the connection.
Buhari worked for Abacha. Buhari worked for Abacha.
Buhari worked for Abacha.
Chairman of PTF.
Latif worked for
You
Abacha.
guys need to understand something. So even this Buhari is an offshoot of Abacha's influence in the APP. Are you listening to me at all? In Kano APP, we had Ibrahim Little. Chine, he was the accountant for a company called Celcom. Celcom was the billion-dollar company Ibrahim Abacha was using, Abacha had interest in. Atiku Bagudu, current governor, everybody you are seeing today on the stage, they have a history. They have a history. Atiku Bagudu, if they want to give you money from Ibrahim Abacha, they will send you to Atiku. This Atiku will be governor for Kebbi. Now, boy, we know him as now.
He came out in that
hold on, listen to me. Hold on. This guy will be governor for that state. He's the richest governor when they score them in Abululu. His father is Sani Bello, chairman of MTN, former governor of Kano and other states. So Abululu made money under Abdul Salam in that 8 months when Abdul Salam became head of state. Abululu had already married his daughter prior to that. So when Muhammad Abacha stopped being the crown prince, the new Khalifa was Abululu, Abu Sani Bello. And the first deal he got from Ministry of Transport, he was handed over to a guy called FBI for Benny. Festus for Benny.
He became minister now.
Yes, Minister of Transport under Abdul Salam Ige as a vice president.
Let me
$11
comment there.
million.
Let me even comment there. That's $11 million.
Atiku Bagudu don't be met with Abululu now.
Let me comment quickly.
Atiku Bagudu is down with Muhammad Abacha in those people. Now, governor.
Tala.
Yeah.
They mentioned the people.
Everybody has a
Hold on now. Keneke, hold on.
Carry on.
I just want to say this before I go. Tala, in 2013, I traveled to...
Keneke, hold on now.
Wait. I'm a governor. Hold on. Let me just say this. I traveled to Kuwait with... Then Atiku Bagudu was a senator under PDP. He was a close friend to Namadi Sambo.
Correct.
Him and Namadi Sambo were close. Yeah. I traveled to Kuwait with him. The guy is quite friendly though. But anyway,
No, he's a quiet guy. Very astute and very urbane. That's one thing with Atiku Bagudu, and he knows how to follow. That's why he's a good leader. And now you can see he married Shinkafi's daughter. So he's even one of those people who may even have a VP slot from the north. He's one of those people who they are considering because it doesn't get in anybody's way.
Yeah. So let me now elaborate about this $11 million transport under Festus minister and all that. Atiku Bagudu. As you can even know that you can see there's an infight between Panko and Bagudu in the CPC camp. Like I'm sure is Pantani from somebody wants to run for governor of Kebbi State 2023.
Yeah, Malami wants to be governor.
Malami, and now Malami
that's Malami.
Malami. Yeah,
the most powerful minister right now, yes.
Yeah, and then there's even an infight already, even in the CPC block of the APC between Malami and Bagudu. But anyways, let's
No, you are correct. But Bagudu will not give it to Malami is wasting his time. But we don't have
yeah. So even in the lights of this, let's even throw it back to the military days of Shagari, next IBB. Yeah. When people, I witnessed that Gideon Okafu.
Sorry, and Abe, say you are aware that Malami is the one who wanted to bring Jonathan to be the flag bearer for Malami. He wants to be Jonathan's vice president if you don't give him governor.
Exactly. So you see, when people talk about all this past, I witnessed this one is not even say ESA. The Gideon Okafu. I mean, I was staying in 1004, if I can remember. I was staying in C77. Colonel Gary was major then before he retired.
That was the coup that was funded by Fiogre, Abi.
Yeah. Correct. Yes. The Gideon coup was, if anybody that knows the CSO to IB, Major Gary.
Gary, very popular. You will know him unless you leave that period. He was very popular.
Very popular, very powerful. It was like they are Mustafa during the Abacha days. And people remember when Abacha was the chief of army staff,
in the north, they used to call him Jerry. Hey, Nagan Jerry. And once you see Jerry, you are covered. They call him Jerry.
Yeah, those are the brains behind all these military generals. And I can't even remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, so till today, all these people, you might not hear them on Twitter or on social media, but these are all the people that are still calling the shots because their godfathers are old. And these are the same people that might still come out 2023, 2027, and you just see it's just going to be a vicious cycle in Nigeria. So that's why when Tala says
I can tell you for a fact that IBB has a very, IBB is aging. Health is, all things on his side. IBB wants to have a hand in the next president of Nigeria, and that's why the game is very, very colorful. But once those primaries have been done, you have to rally around whoever is picked on either side. I don't normally like discussing PDP activity, but PDP will be doing a great injustice by fielding Atiku. But if they do so, APC also has a counter. Go ahead.
Very wonderful. That's right. Like, the North are not in support of Atiku, but last minute policy is all about last minute.
Last minute dynamics, man. Dynamics. That's why
so
you
it's
stay
not
on
anything.
one rigid place starting. No, you have to be able to move.
100%. That's why I tell people.
Now you are hearing me coming from a different angle. It's politics, so
dynamics.
Yeah, that's right.
The truth of the matter is we need a president that will reform our economical structure. And the only few people I can think of off of my head right now are Atiku, Obi, Moral. Those are the only two. Not your Tinubu, not your whatnot. All those ones are oppressive for our economy.
So good luck with that.
All those other ones, they're repressive to our economy. We want, someone mentioned, was this from this current African Development Bank chairman from Babani, Mujuba from Baba. I removed my head from my cap.
I don't know. He's not a politician now, but
he's not a politician.
I know. I think it looks, people on the outside, they miss so many things. All these things are like romantic wishes. He got 8 women who doesn't sweat during sex. He won't find anything funny. No, look, reality is reality. I can't remember additional. While he looks good on paper, it would take an Asiwaju kind of leader, not like Asiwaju, to decide on picking an additional as president and Ngozi Okonjo as VP. If you don't put in a leader,
is that not Christian
who can do that? But then you are there hating. Who's that?
I said, no, be Christian candidates with that. That's not a good one for the country.
No, but I'm giving you an example. I'm not putting it. I'm just giving an example of the kind of people they are. Accomplished people from outside and hand. That's what I'm trying to say. Not about Christian. I'm just telling you an Okonjo Iweala as deputy to a additional or vice versa. That kind of qualified World Bank and that level of global. Only an Asiwaju can do that. But the point is, everybody sees the person who can do that. They are Asiwaju as the criminal they don't want. But sometimes the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. And I'm telling you, an Asiwaju will readily hand over to those kind of people. But most of these other politicians that you think you like, they would never do that. If Peter Obi to tell you he knows it all, you guys just talk about these guys from afar. We sit down with, look, I'll tell you about one guy called Pat Utomi. I have nothing against him. That Pat Utomi you are seeing, because on this app and talks, Pat Utomi, if he joins a party today and the party wins the presidency, Pat Utomi will pick a quarrel with that party before they are sworn in. You know why? He just likes being in opposition. Some people are just naturally cut out to be in opposition. If Pat Utomi's party wins presidency today with him as somebody who worked, before they are sworn in, he will find an excuse to fight them and decamp. He just loves being in opposition. So these are the eggheads who everybody feels. But then you don't use eggheads on Nigerians. There needs to be this political play because the Nigerian Union has so many faulty foundations. So you need people who understand, not that they can't do something against somebody or against one region, but they understand that doing that may not be the best. That is why most of us have been for Asiwaju all this while. Because an Asiwaju will think of the greater good and execute it. But other people don't having now with his kitchen people he's trusting is this his openness to a Muslim ticket, and it's now being used against him. He used it to get the support of the North. As we are getting closer, it's working against him. A Muslim ticket, whether they can get through and they can probably make it work, but this fabric of this country will be forever torn apart. And I can assure you, even people like myself, I never see agitation at all. We will bring in all kinds of destabilization. So we're trying to avoid this already destabilized nation from falling into a problem where you can't redeem it. And religion is the easiest way to get it done. And it's not like 20 years ago. This is a whole new dawn. Anybody with intelligent firepower from the air can bring this country to its knees. So we need to be careful what we provoke in 2021.
Okay, can I just add my 2 cents? So
go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been listening and I've been listening to how I don't know if we are celebrating some of these people.
We're celebrating nobody, no sir. But I was involved. Hold on. I was involved in. I was part of those who were in the villa when Abacha was there. I have no apologies or regrets. And going down memory lane, the nostalgia, reminding me of so many things. So I was just clearing the air on how the 1999 election came to be. Because in the other room, people were distorting so many truths. And I wanted to let them understand it was one military group versus another military group trying to play political chess with their candidates. Because people didn't understand what happened. I was in the APP, Abacha People's Party, more or less, all People's Party. And that party came from somewhere. So I was trying to let people understand, people who midwife things that time. You've all heard of a guy called Tony Aneni. And I had to remind them there was somebody that nobody ever mentions, Hamid Kusamoto. He was the Aneni of that time. He was like the person organizing things. Hamid Kusamoto, that guy was the brain for everybody. And he midwifed that whole 1999 thing that happened. Together, people like Harry Akonde, it was a Yoruba affair because they had been given that slot by the powers that be, Babangida, at that point in time. So they had to get Yoruba candidates. But people were coming up saying all sorts of things and distorting things. So I, as a participant, not reading paper, had to come and let people understand how that 1999 came to be. Babangida organized it. That 1999 constitution, Babangida organized it.
Okay.
You understand me?
Yeah, no, I understand. And you know, the sum, I remember that time when we were in secondary school, when you do maths sometimes, some people will take long steps and they will still miss the question or fail the answer, get the wrong answer. For that, you calculate, you will see me, you will write the wrong answer. That's what we've been doing. Everything, all these things we've done, we just calculate. Now they've gotten 0 up to this point. If we mark their script, we'll probably get 0 over 100. So I know you were not celebrating them, and really, some of these people,
I'm just giving insight.
I don't know them personally, but
well, I know
I don't have
them
anything
personally
against them.
up to tomorrow. So I'm giving insight from a bird's eye view. That's all I'm trying to let you know. So that people, because I've seen that people want to have the right, honest history. Okay? On
that's
this
true.
app, I've noticed that the people who are coming in. Hold on. Let me make my point.
Okay.
A lot of people here had access to more quality education than most of us had growing up. We didn't have internet. We didn't have Google. We went all abroad. Going abroad study was a big thing. Do you understand? When you come back for summer, the whole town waits for you to come back for summer, then summer can start. Do you understand? We had summer holidays because those who were studying abroad. So it was a big thing. But now, almost everybody studying abroad, they are brought up with excellent cognitive skills in their minds. And they are asking questions. So I'm just saying, I don't want people working with fake news. So let's give them the honest, unbiased. But definitely, I benefited from the Abacha regime. Okay? The family till tomorrow are my people. The way you name it, including Babangida people too, even though I personally have a problem with Babangida, which I even told his daughter when she married my best friend in 2005. I told her what her father did that vexed me, and he knows. But it doesn't mean that in his time he wasn't the Maradona he was. It doesn't mean he didn't play Nigeria up and down. He called himself at one time, I am the evil genius. When they asked him to elaborate, because Tell magazine put it on their front cover, Babangida with his gap-tooth smile, and underneath, I am the evil genius. So Lagos Ibadan Artist Press, went to town saying, my God, we have a devil on drugs in Aso Rock Villa. Our president is a devil. But when they now had to corner him for an interview, and they asked him what he meant by that, he said, no, nothing much. When I come on the television in my house after a long day's work, I see cartoon films. My kids are watching. And some of them, there's one particular man calling himself the evil genius. And I love the way he laughed. And that's why I gave myself that name, because that man was always the mastermind. But when they are punishing people, they never get the man. And so I gave myself that name from a cartoon character, the evil genius. But that was the kind of person Babangida was. Babangida was so warm that even if you hate him, once he meets with you and begins to flow with you, I say, Wole Soyinka fell for his gimmicks now. If any of you know who Taisholari of Mayflower School in Keneremo is, nobody was more upright than Taisholari, for God's sake.
Exactly.
So when I mention names like Taisholari, and people are asking questions, I'm like, you don't even understand. These are unbreakable guys. Yes, Taisholari was doing people's bank. So you are honest, they trust you. Run it. At the end of the day, you have to leave. Babangida corrupted everything. Babangida corrupted everything possible. The vote of Nigeria today, we are by Babangida. And I'm just sorry to say it, but it's the truth.
Okay, and the truth is that, which you are correct, but when the good thing about this is that we have the internet and we have lots of people writing.
My brother, internet was written by people like myself and others who are giving you guys the gist.
Exactly.
But so when somebody, hold on. I want you to hold on, no, sir. There's something I really dislike hearing these days. I mean, nothing wrong in it. When somebody will say, let's have a link. We didn't grow up with Google and internet. All this link, we don't get them. Now, people wait there, when they arrive for weekend, we will go sit down, understand what they happen. When Ibrahim Abacha flies his PJ into Kano, all of us go and gather, and we listen. We hear what's happening, and we see people who are controlling the affairs of Nigerian state coming to pay homage to Ibrahim Abacha. When he died, it was Alhaji Mohammed. They will come and meet him in Lado's house. So if you are Lado's friend and you go to Lado's house, you'll be sitting down watching boxing matches. Tyson versus Holyfield, etc. with military administrators like Colonel Hayebu Shuaibu and others, Yakub Baku of Akwa Ibom State. Do you get it? Because in those days, they will send a Kano man to go and govern Akwa Ibom, send an Igbo man to come and govern Kano. And Nigeria was working. So we live this thing. So when we are talking, just listen. And if you are there too, or you can ask your parents or your uncles, they can bring their own. But we live this thing when Nigeria was unified. So when you see us struggling to keep Nigeria together, it's not because we don't say Nigeria is not working. But we lived when it was working. I keep giving an example. Hold on. After please. I can see a newbie badge on your PTR, which means you are new this week to Clubhouse. Don't come here and start disrespecting your Clubhouse elder. You may be older than us, but we're your Clubhouse elder.
But you have to allow other people an opinion now. You have to allow other people.
No. I'll stop you. In fact, if you hold on. If you unmute your mic one more time, my hand is on you. I will drop it to the audience. Good. So now you can go ahead.
Okay. So the point I wanted to make is that, yes, all of this information is good and it's enlightening. But let us remember that when they've all left the stage and we write history tomorrow, right? They will be their names will be written down as people that failed Nigeria. And I think that's what most people who are in government now or who are trying to get into government should remember that if the war doesn't end, history doesn't forget. I mean, we've talked about people. I was on here.
So
I was on
what
here,
does history do to a dead man? Tell me.
Well, it spoils his
Tell
reputation.
me what history does to a dead man.
Reputation, name, everything.
The best human beings in the world have also died. Stop this emotional, childish argument. My brother, if you can make a difference in Nigeria, I beg you, no sir, get involved. Get involved and make a difference. Stop condemning those who did their own bit. Get involved and do your own bit. Go and contest in Bini. Your name is Nosa. Likely you're from Edo State. Go and contest. Get involved. Show some leadership. Not always condemning from the armchair. I'm on the ground. I know what I faced. I know when I was told to renounce my faith and get a position. And I remember what Christ said. If you deny me, I will deny you become my father. And while my supporters were there, so many of them in tears saying, Tala, just go ahead and say you are. I said, no. I'm saved by the blood of Christ. I will not. I mean, give me a break. But guess what? That tenure would have expired eons ago. But I'm still here in the corridor of power. And I'm here also planning to have my own person I prefer to become president in 2023 without denying who I am. Be bold, for God's sake, and get involved. Haba, get involved has always been my message on this app. All of you who want a change, get involved. I'm ready to help you, whatever area you are. If it's with advice or resources, or by connecting you to those who have the power in your party. If you are in PDP, my adopted sister, she adopted me, is married to Governor Tambuwa. He wants to be president. If you want to have some power in PDP and you're capable, I can give you an intro to Tambuwa or Ihedioha. Go and make your mark first, but no one's going to hand it to you. Get in there and make a difference. I've gotten in here and I'm trying to make my own difference by getting my people in places. So we are all sacrificing for this Nigeria, not just sitting down and castigating those who are on the field. It's not as easy as you think, my brother. It's not as easy as you think. Ifeanyi Ararume was put there by a power block to weaken Asiwaju's content in NMPC. Ifeanyi Ararume was made chairman of NMPC PLC. He said, okay, no problem, work with it. But guess what? Some other blocks now are going to the same presidency and casting aspersions on Ifeanyi Ararume of Imo State and pointing out that even Hope Uzodimma, the legal, whatever governor the people call him, of Imo State, doesn't like Ararume. So now they want to remove Igbo man Ararume as chairman of NMPC and put another Igbo man from Enugu State because the person has been friendly with Buhari's guys for over 15 years. That's Igbo now versus Igbo. They give us NMPC chairmanship. Why do I need to go and rally around Ararume? He wants to discuss Ararume, Igbo man, and go and put someone from Enugu State there again. So, for heaven's sake, this thing you think is so simple and easy is not so easy. Sanusi Lamido became governor of Central Bank. He was broke for so long as governor of Central Bank. He didn't know how to make money in that position until the AGF, then under Jonathan, a guy called Bello Adoki, gave him some ideas and connected him with a billionaire businessman. And that person now used his South-South connections to show Sanusi Lamido the way, legally, to begin to enjoy his position as CBN governor. Before then, he was so scared to do anything wrong. So he couldn't make money, just living on his stipend. So what I'm saying is just getting in there doesn't mean that everything is going to be okay. The pioneer speaker of this republic we are in now was a guy called Salisu Buhari, Ibrahim Salisu Buhari. We call him Imam. He's my chess playing buddy. Imam Buhari was speaker, and Babangida gave him an assignment. Don't forget, I told you Babangida who was running the country 1999 until Obasanjo grew his balls with the backing of Yoruba Nation behind him. So it's Babangida who was telling the speaker to go and unify a group who were fighting at that period, Aguleri and Umuleri in Anambra State, under Governor Chiwoke Mbadinuju. What Mbadinuju could not do, Imam went there and there was peace for a while. And we were in Imam Buhari's house in Kano, in a place called Hadeja Road in Kawaji Ward in Kano. And Babangida put a call to the speaker, thanking him for bringing peace that people could not do in that area. It's all about making an effort of making this country peaceful and together. But you can't do it without getting involved, for God's sake. And that's why I keep crying. If you really want to change things, rather than castigating those who are in there facing all kinds of hurdles, get involved. My friend Hadi Sirika, he's been sidelined for over a year now. But if he can win in this poker face game between Dubai, Emirates, and Nigeria, he's going to become a hero. Because the Igbo guy he's supporting, his friend and possibly future business partner, Alan Onyema of Peace, seems to be getting his way with this standoff they're having with the Emirates. And if that happens, the whole Nigeria will look at Hadi as the hero. And he will bounce back to reckoning in the presidency where he has kind of lost his clout. So everybody is trying to survive when it comes to political horse trading and politics of governance. Only few people have their power remaining all the time. The president, the chief of staff, and the secretary to the government of the federation. The rest of them, Senate President to anybody, all of them is at the pleasure of the executive. So try and understand it's not as easy as coming on Clubhouse and saying they are failing us. Please try and understand. And I will close by saying, please, Indigo, try and appreciate even if you don't like Ojikalu. At least if it means you will sacrifice somebody into the fire to be burnt on behalf of Indigo, send him. Doesn't mean he should be your leader, but please, let's stop bad-mouthing Igbo leaders just because they are doing what every other tribe of leaders has been doing, but you want to kill your own. Have some self-respect for your own ethnic group. I yield.
Thank you very much. I mean, look, this is what we always say on this app, okay? It's not all about audio. You don't just come here and just spew. A lot of people spew garbage without information on this app. It's not about being a keyboard warrior or all this kind of thing. If you're not going to get involved, there's no point coming here to come and be saying what you don't know.
And if you're smart, just learn from those who are throw the rope. Tomorrow it could be you who is the boss. But, I mean, big opportunity for these young people today, but everybody wants to abuse their leaders and their elders. Get into the game.
They want to believe in fantasies, political fantasies, like third force and all this nonsense. That if you know the history of this country, you would never open your mouth one day to proclaim any third force with those young boys, Sowore and Co.
They don't understand that third force thing. The mainstream politicians always allow it because it stops the votes. It stops the votes from major opponents.
Of course.
People are really good there, eh?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, man.
Please enlighten me, because what you are saying, there's something you said right now that actually got me reeling. You said there's a difference between send me the link to prove and I was there actually resonated with me. I mean, the person that said I was there and another person that said send me the link, I would rather listen to the person that said I was involved. This is fact.
Yeah, exactly, my brother.
And secondly, you said something again. You said Buhari wants Dubai. And again, you are saying we should support OUK. Can you tell me what internal wrangling going
Okay. Let me. I don't like being condemned for my own personal issues. I'm sure if Umahi, for instance, becomes the president or whatever, I will definitely have a network that will, connect me with him in the party. After all, it's the APC. Okay, but when you are pushing for somebody, you need to push for those who are capable, but also those who you have access to. Why do I say this? Now, if I come on this app and promise you guys that something is going to happen in the power sector, I can hear the complaints you bring, and I probably have the then power minister on speed there. I'll send you some messages. And these guys are busy. They don't answer messages, but someone like me, they will answer. And if I tell them I have people who are demanding to have answers, they don't know who the people are. They won't know the people are on Clubhouse. But I take you guys seriously and important because you definitely are. But he just believes that Tala as a let me just give him all the facts and all the secret background to the story. And I will now give you guys so you guys can be assured everything is on course. And as you all know, that Siemens project, which was what brought me on this app, is on course. And you've had this announcement last week that by 2022, that first phase is getting over and they are morphing into the second phase where all the work will be on the ground. So I'm just saying that if I'm going to vouch for somebody to you guys on Clubhouse, I need to have access to that person. So if he's going wrong and you guys say, Tala, you are the one that came home, tell us for this guy, man, F you, man. I can now go back and tell the person, change this, change that. People with brains who went to proper schools, intellectuals who aren't connected to government, have given this advice. Or guy, use it. Those guys are professionals. You can't fail with this one. Because it's me and they don't want problem, they may consider using it. If they do, everybody will be happy. Because don't forget, we're not doing it for anybody. We are doing it so Nigeria can thrive, for heaven's sake. People don't need to even be knowing who is their leader. Just make Nigeria thrive. Look at the tube in the UK, the way it works, without one Conservative Party man coming there and taking photographs, or one Labour Party man, or one Lib Dem, or one UKIP guy coming. No, it just works and everybody goes on the tube from Prime Minister to a person with no home. They move in, move out. The next train is in 10 minutes, calling us, and you go. You land, you move. But in Nigeria, unless you sabi this, you sabi that nothing works. So people like us are the new breed who want to make sure that things work for everybody so the best of Nigeria can come out. And I don't care if you're honest. I don't care if you're PDP, UPP, UDDC, you are a Nigerian who wants a better country. I happen to be with the ruling party, young enough like you guys, and I happen to have some influence because of my whatever I've been doing for the party since 2001. So I've grown over 20 years to a position where I have a voice. So all I'm saying is, I don't want to be that kind of person who went in there and was tempted to chop Nigeria's money. No, I want to be able to spend my money freely anywhere, and nobody accuses me it's our money. Under fire, you got to punish you with your money. I didn't steal your money. That's why I'm not interested in all those government things. But my procedure is to set people up, a structure, go and do this thing, you come out, and I get my fee. And I move on. I'm a commodities trader. So whether Nigeria produces oil or not, I trade oil every single day. From Shanghai market to Europe to the Delta. And I make my profit. Just like all these boys you are seeing now in Nigeria who are doing forex trading. It's something similar to that, but we have a professional exchange called the ICE exchange, ICE. So what I'm trying to say is that once you are self-sufficient, you don't have to toe the line of all these sellouts. You want Nigeria to be great, you boldly put your stake forward. I can't do that if I'm collecting money from them or bending down, but I bend down for nobody. So I'm just noticing that I'm getting older. I don't have that strength to be even going for meetings. People come to my gate, they're not allowed in. I need to rest and have a life, not everyday politics. So I try to share some wisdoms, and I try to put seeds in people, and I'm ready to support people. Whichever spectrum you are, just be rising. You have the energy and move up. You are the same guys who are going to support us when we exit the stage. That's my agenda, and it's completely altruistic. Anybody who agrees with my point and wants to get involved, I'm there to support you from the tiniest to the heaviest way. But I'm telling you, get involved. Talk, but get involved, please. If you don't get involved, you can't change jack in this country, man. People are crazy in this place. I'm telling you. Get involved is my message. Nico, thank you.
Guys, it's just better for everyone to get involved, man. Don't come stop
at any level you can. Yeah. Any way you can.
Yeah.
Get involved. Get involved. Don't get tired. Yeah. When you get tired, take a rest and come back. But get involved. Get involved. Wherever you stand, get involved, so that your voice can be among those who are talking some serious things that will help guide our leadership. They need help. They are clueless. And people are afraid. When you get older, you're a bit afraid. So you who are bold, get involved. And Nigeria is ripe for some young. Look at even Nnamdi Kanu. He's not a young guy. Look at the kind of scholarship he has. Just imagine if he was somebody who even has some serious dollar resources and backing. But nobody has that energy. So you've got to get involved, but don't throw your elders under the bus. Don't throw those who were there before you under the bus. At the cause of the failure of our country. Damn you, don't try that. Because those elders still have power and have their own young people. They will gather up and mess you up, and it becomes an ego petty thing. So just smile when you gotta smile. Get involved. If you don't get involved, nothing for you.
Agotola. So what I actually got, I think you're making a lot of sense. The way Nigeria is constructed, to get involved, you definitely need what we call a political godfather or godmother, something like that. You can't just go like that and enter. You need some support from someone at the top. Not really. Let's not mix this thing up. You can align. You don't have to have a political godfather on this thing. I never had any political godfather. The governor who was contesting for governor when I was contesting for local government chairman, I was the one who began the early funding of his campaign. And me, who was contesting for local government chairman, was one of the first people to begin funding the Buhari campaign in Kano. Do you get me? So, did I have a godfather? No. But now, my governor, Shekaro, is an elder of the party and is going to be among those who will call the shots and could even be picked as a vice presidential candidate. When I see him, I call him my leader, my governor, Your Excellency. When he calls me, he doesn't call me his my brother. He hugs me in front of everybody. Small boy with a clean in hand, well, you could talk with elder. Okay? But then what do? You have to learn to leverage your network. And I'll give you an example. There was this ash cloud over Europe. I'm not sure if anybody remembers when flights couldn't fly over Europe, everywhere was stranded. And we were stuck with a crowd delegation in London together with Amici. And anybody was born.
That was 2012.
Correct. Thank you. So no, it wasn't 2012. It wasn't. It was 2011 or 10.
11, 12.
11. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was 11. So
that could happen.
Shekara was the governor. Yes, thank you. 2011. That ash cloud, man, it was crazy. So Amechi was the guy, and I and Amechi were staying in the same hotel, Park Lane Hilton in London. My governor was staying at a private place, and the rest of his aides were staying in a place called Sussex Garden. They have some budget hotels in that place. So My job was any of our top guys who were in that hotel, I will tell the governor, you want to see this guy? I go hold and bring him to you. That guy, he will laugh. So when Amechi was going, I held Amechi. So only if Amechi is not telling that, oh boy, I'm leaving all my aides behind here. That he wants to go to France, Paris, through I think Eurostar, and try and get an Air France flight to get back to Port Harcourt. Because there was some issue going on over some kings, and if he wasn't there, they're going to mess up everything. It was a do or die. So we all said that I will keep tabs with Amechi and be giving them feedback. The governors who were there. Oshomole was also in London at that time. So what did I do? When I met the Estama of the universe, we call him Estama of the universe, but it's actually the Estama of the universe. She gave an medium. It's my friend, older friend. We talk everything. I thought that I go for this town. How far? You know, like he said, invite him to come. We are hosting NMPC and Dora Akunyili on Sunday in his house on a place called Wellington Christian near Bishop Avenue. I said, bring your governor, come now. Bring him, come now. So I went to the governor. Okay. This man, you know, he's a great man. Lucky's father. Yes, yes. He said, that he would love to come. So what happened? I ended up connecting Shekaro, his commissioner of commerce, Ahmed Yakase, and Esama in the house there. And so Esama was so proud of me and happy. Yeah, my son, you got the governor, that kind of thing. He went and called Lucky. Lucky was outside the country and said, Governor of Kano is here. And Lucky Beja was like, what? Governor of Kano, where? In my your house? Yes, talk to him. And they came. My father. So bottom line is everybody moved forward together. And that was how I now became friendly with John Oyegun and Oshomole. Because whenever we went to go and pay a visit to Edo State, and I was on the team with Shekara, don't forget he was contesting presidency, Estima of the universe always wanted to host us. So we wouldn't eat in government house Edo State. We would say, no, we are going to Talas on host place. That was Estima, what is calling. And we will go there and eat in Estima. And Estima will feed the whole of our aides. Our aides, we are numbering more than 30. And he will tell me, they are going to lock the main gate. I should come into the back gate. So we have to drive. If you know his house in Benin, it's like a palace. You have to drive all the way. They make you drive and then see the kind of place where I get. I said, no problem, sir. So we came to that gate with government convoy, all the everything and the buses, and we came. So the whole crew were wow, but guess what? The man fed everybody with surplus. So this is a connection which they continue to have even afterwards. And every Christmas season, every holiday till tomorrow, I get text message from Esama of the universe. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. If I didn't get involved in politics, I'll be looking at all these characters as powerful, untouchable, unknown, fictional characters. But here I am, telling them what to do and where to go by 5 p.m. So if I call Governor Shekaran now and tell him, you have to be this, he will take me seriously. Why is he taking me seriously? Because I got involved, guys. I got involved. When I think about my story, I know the capacity of so many of you guys and what you can do if you get involved. I was like a joker young guy, just chasing babes. And I now chose to get involved in politics. All the money I was using for babes, I used it to sponsor local government exco. And I never looked back. Next thing I knew, I'm sitting down with Buhari. I'm sitting down with Prince Audu, whose son grew up in my house. I'm sitting down with all these people, up Lawal of Kwara. I'm like, whoa. And they're taking me seriously because I present myself well. Then the guy was Lambomni at the guy FPA. You understand me? The level we're doing now, we came from Abacha's government, we get money. Young boy, sorry, phone call was coming in. You see young boy where they run things like big boy, like big man. That was how I got involved. And today, look at where we are. We are discussing having unlimited access to the corridor of power. So power is one thing, but having access to it is another. If you don't have access to power, your knowledge of the person in power is useless because you can't do anything. So for me, having that access, no matter which side of the divide you are on, is very important. And I'll give you an example. On this app, there's a guy called Bonka. Bonka is the Prime Minister of Breaking Up Nigeria. But me and him are pali. And tomorrow, if I have my way in Nigeria, and I'm right there in the corridor of power, it's people like Bonka. I mean, even invite and be eating food in the government house. Then he goes back and continues his fight. We are all Nigerians. We want a better Nigeria. We have no enemy. But when we lose focus and begin fighting ourselves, instead of trying to get the best minds in every camp to give these guys some marching orders, or put you guys in the room to give them some marching orders. And I promise you all, once Buhari leaves that seat, the opportunity for Nigeria is so great. This country is going to transform within 5 years like you can never imagine. Why? Because President Buhari is not a leader you can talk to. With Obasanjo, you can carry a business partner, talk deal, and it will be done. Same thing we gotta do, no matter how quiet he was. Same thing with Jonathan Goodluck. But with Buhari, you cannot bring any businessman to discuss any business with him. He may understand the concept, but he won't really know what to do. Doesn't understand commission or deals or taking money, but the people around him, they do. So they are the ones who now hijack these things and begin to make things for themselves. And Buhari isn't aware, and they hide it from him. If he finds out tomorrow, they are sacked. So it is that closeness and access to power that most of those aides are showing to the world and using it to do whatever they are doing to make something for themselves. Not because Buhari approved it. But guess what? If you are a leader and can't control the people around you, you already failed. And that's why I always agree Buhari has failed. And for a long time, all I'm thinking about is the person who will succeed Buhari. But guess what? I may be upset with them, but it doesn't stop me from hanging out with them because you've got to be inside that cycle or that house if you want to make a change in the house. No matter how vivid your OLED TV is, and you are seeing the ball and Messi and whoever on the field, you are not in there. No matter the liquid display of your TV, you are not in that field with those players. But if you are in there, you can make something happen for either side to win. And that's the point I keep harping on, because I did that. I got involved, and today I see where I am. Today, I don't go looking for government officials. I just tell people, oh, you sabi that guy, let me get in touch. And one time you see your phone or something, Tyler, I've been trying to call you. That's my number. If you saw it 3 times, please call me back. And I won't call back. But they will still look for me. That's the level. Why? Because I got involved. Nnamdi Kanu today is being talked about. Why? Because he got involved. So it works in every sphere. You will not like me, but please take my message. The way things will change when you begin to put your own input into this country, Nigeria, which is your birthright. Anything happening in Nigeria is your right to have a part of it. NPA is your right. NMPC is your right. NIWA is your right. NDDC is your right. PTDF is your right. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That's how they deceive you. It's your right.
Yeah,
But
let me
hold on. I'm rounding up. Hold on. But if you don't get involved, nobody's going to come and give you your right. You must bulldoze. Please get involved. Governor, go ahead.
So when you spoke about NPA and the MASA and the EWA and the NSC, the Chiefs Council, I want to give you a real life example. Like my father used to be a lecturer at UCL in London back in the 70s or 80s. You know, he really same thing. Lamenting. After joining him, this one is a long thing. And then BMC called him. That was Komanga Tuko. Everybody knows him now. The BMC. And it was like, I think they was the chairman that period. I think, was this Igbo man, Chief Madueke, that was Minister of Transport, First Minister of Transport back then, if I'm correct.
Ojo Madueke.
Yeah, Ojo Madueke,
Madueke,
exactly.
yeah.
Minister of Transport. And then,
before he became foreign minister.
Yeah, and this was during Shagari's time before IDB took over the WhatsApp. And then BMC, take it or leave it, became one of the heads of NPA. That time, in fact, Ministry of Transport was an MPA building in Marina before they moved it forward. Babangida moved it to Abuja, and then the building became MPA. And, that's where he started career. And from nowhere, he got involved, and from joke, give it credit to him. Third Bridge was completed during IPB. It was under his watch. Third Bridge. I'm not sure if you remember FUMTA, FUMTA, Federal Urban Transit Agency. He was the one that headed it back then. It's Rishima, Vice President Rishima Yahaya. They were the people that did that same Third Bridge today they were talking about in Lagos. Completed that. I'm sure he started under the Shagari regime, but it was under the IPB. Everything move. Even this woman, when she got involved in government, take it or leave, what's her name again? There's Annie Madoike, everybody shouting about. She started her career when she entered government in MOT, Federal Ministry of Transport. She didn't know nothing.
Correct. She was running on the road now, crying. She would go to the road,
give you,
which was broken down. She was running and crying. Oh man, Nigeria on NTA News. They were laughing.
Exactly. And I remember one.
Then she now became the all-powerful owner of the government.
Exactly.
She got involved.
Exactly, she got involved. And even when she collapsed in Salford University in Manchester, I remember when she collapsed. Personally, I carried her to the hospital. And so when she was giving a speech back then, I think it was 2006 or 07 or something, before she moved over to petroleum. So when you don't get involved, you, like Ogasala said, it is your birthright. If you're not involved,
it's your birthright to, especially
you always be on the front.
It's your birthright to. It's your birthright to. It's your birthright.
Let's see you the mic. Mazi, you want to say something?
Salah.
Victor, I don't know.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I got my data boss. He called me up today for like an hour for a particular project.
God will bless you. God will bless you.
I want us to talk about you're just discussing, right? And I was going to raise issues with you, but the conversation went, it was an intense conversation. I said, okay, maybe next time I'll just ask him, Oga, see this guy, sit on your man from far back. But there's a project he wants me to help him handle, based on what I've handled, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to get some free time from my workplace. Come on, man, for sending additional work. I'm telling you something in Nigeria, telling you something abroad.
Follow him. I'm the one telling you. Don't forget, I was telling you I didn't like him. I wanted Malami to fuck him up and everything. But the same me, that's what it is. The same me came to you and said, oh boy, that's your guy. He could bounce back. He's on the winning team right now in the APC. He's on the right side. And they're the ones who've been handling this thing. They're the ones who are going to take this carpet under from Asiwaju. So, just hang with that guy. That guy knows his ropes. He knows his ropes, and he's going to be you won't regret it. Just trust me. You won't regret it. I even mentioned your name to one of his brothers and one of these NMPC guys. There was an oil conference of them, and I mentioned that somebody who was speaking very highly of this your guy. So I mentioned it, so they will go back and tell him that, we talking about something, he will know that you are his man. So don't be surprised he has heard the report. But I told them.
Oh, that's what he calls, right? Maybe that's right.
I know. I'm telling you, I told them that when we were talking about when Sai Dangote died. So we were discussing life and how when you are good, people will say whether you are there or not. And so I now gave the example of the good things you told me about your guy, even though I was against him because of personal reasons. So that it now turned me to begin to see him in a good light. I was like, Haba, say yes. I said, that guy can kill for so and so and so. So they have gone back to go and take it as, look at where they had this information from. So he knows you are this guy. Because me and him, our fight is over a woman, and I picked the woman's side. But I don't regret it. But I've discovered that, I didn't really have a problem with him. But because she begged me to help her deal with him, so I took her side. But yeah, that's life. We make our choices, but I've already said that I don't have a problem with him. I'm ready to work with him since already we are on the same team. So whenever I see him, I will, we'll make amends. We'll make amends. Thank you.
Yeah, the call came in today.
No, I spoke with their people. I hinted that there was somebody speaking very good of him. The whole topic was about people who speak good of people, even when they're not there. And it was after Dangote died, so we're discussing how when you go, your legacy has to talk of you, and that's how I brought it up. So not say that kind of thing very, very seriously when somebody is standing up for them, even though they are not forcing them to. So they appreciate it, and that's
he's a good man.
Anywhere you can drop a good report about somebody, it's always, they call it the work of the prophet. It's always a good thing to do. Vouching for somebody, even though they're not aware, just vouch for them and leave it. I'm only telling you now because they have called you, but it's all good. Thank you.
Yeah,
keep in touch.
He called, and they were like, "Oh, Victor, long time." I said, boss man. Last time I spoke, he was around March, April, when he was going to come around. And then he said, come on, man, I didn't call. I said, check your phone now. I've been calling you, sir. How can I not call my boss? We and you work for almost 14 years. He said, no, that this project he wants to do in his place in Zamfara. But that all these disturbances, can I come up with a blueprint that you need to move it down somewhere? It's okay, sir. Sir, you know me, I'm caught up with work. I'm telling you something, you're telling me work abroad, I beg.
Work with them.
Get the blueprint for the project. So it was a long conversation. We went back. Now I know why he called. Apparently, those guys.
Everybody wants to make a trust.
Those guys can't PC my name and the projects we did. They say, I know this guy.
Of course. The younger brother had just left London, and so I made it clear.
He said something. He won an award in London. That's true.
Yes, correct. You know what happened? Let's tell you what happened there. During the Ezani's regime, he made so much money helping the Ezan. They even called him the Ezani's Bobo. So all these guys in NNPC, they were like hailing him when they call him Saudi Sheikh. When he go Mecca Hilton, he go take a whole floor. He was even like a Saudi Sheikh. So for London, as Rolls Royce Phantom, he go say, I'm pick up in Babe or all that kind of, SCZ, which most southern guys don't know how to do very well, to be honest.
Yeah,
but this guy is sway. Since the Abacha, he's been sway. Was in America in the attaché office. So he's, in fact, Abacha had a crush on him. Abacha had a crush on the guy. But the guy felt he was too much for her. Can you imagine? So that's how proud, because I fine boy. He
married into Mutala's family now.
Yes, no. But that's the whole thing now. When you marry a Mutala, you become economic royalty in Arewa. Once you marry a Mutala, you have become economic royalty in Arewa. Money is guaranteed by the grace of God. Do you understand? So he married Mutala, that made him to be regarded by everybody, and it's going to play a big role. But like I said, he's in the right team right now. He's in the right team. So he's very much an NNPC baby. NNPC made him very, very wealthy. So all those guys.
We were carrying his back all those days now, from 2009 till
even all those he posted to Dubai office. When they hear, he's somebody who, when they hear his name, he's a good guy. Everyone has something love.
And he's not ethics.
I say he's a perfect guy.
Christian, you work with an Igbo man, with you. He doesn't. Why you can deliver. You have the brains. Put in his team.
He's a wonderful guy. Like I told you, I had no problem with him, apart from that lady who just turned my heart to be against him because she wanted to have an ally, and I chose her. Me and her are still together, but I've decided that, oh boy, as things they go, make I come back to my guys. Let me stick with the bloke. Let me stick with the blokes. Women sometimes can disappoint you.
He's a wonderful man. I will say it to anybody else.
He is.
Left him since
he is. You can be sure when I see him physically, but wherever in the world he is.
I said I was going to raise your name. You know. But the discussion, like I said, was kind of tense because we're trying to, you know what I mean? But once we start discussing, I don't need to write. So I will just, so he told his PA, just be taking note, he's talking. I said, sir, look, I just have 1 hour. Okay, I told my boss I was talking, he said, look, I'm talking to my, so I said, I'm talking to my guys in Nigeria, so I need to, I picked up, 1 hour, go get your 1 hour. So I just said, he told his PA, just taking notes. So I couldn't divulge and start talking about social life and stuff, right? Yeah, so probably next time I have another discussion.
My top guy, in there for inner corpus. If it happens the way we are expecting, those are the kind of guys who may even be minister of finance. It's like inner corpus. Forget it.
He get great now. He's brain as Sanusi brain now. You know you work with Sanusi now.
I don't.
Both of them.
I mean, my guy. Of course, sir. Of course.
Sanusi.
Of course.
Sanusi was.
And something else you have to understand is he's been there longer than so many of these people. When Sanusi was in jail under Abacha, this guy was in New York. When Sanusi was in Sudan in jail in Sokoto when he came up from Sudan, this guy was in New York. Nothing where Sanusi Lamido won't show this guy now, except that Sanusi became Emir of Kano. Do you understand? So the thing about wealth and riches is that there's also something called pedigree. And if you have wealth and riches and you don't have pedigree, there's a gate you will get to and you will be stopped and they will ask questions. And they will ask you who you are. So when you have wealth, riches, and a long-standing pedigree, nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch you. That's why someone like this Emir of Bichi, Nasiru Bayero, anywhere in the world he goes, nobody can touch him. His pedigree is solid. The resources are solid. The acumen is solid. The achievements are solid. And now he's Emir of Bichi. So, and then, forget it. This is just, you have to just learn how to maintain. Most people think of how to get there, but you have to also think of how to maintain. Seplat today is the #1 oil company independent in this country. And that guy is on the board of Seplat, the Emir of Bichi. Do you understand me? Other companies that have been given so many advantages are falling apart. You have the ITOs, they are falling apart. You have so many others that are falling apart. But when you have the pedigree of people like that, not even just Seplat, so many other companies is on the board. So pedigree and maintaining your influence is very, very important. Not every time you must talk. Just make sure you are doing your thing, you are self-sufficient, you are living your life, and you are being useful. The current GMD of NNPC, he flies to Kano to meet with the Emir of Bichi, doesn't allow him to come to Abuja. But all these things are things that they've got over being reliable over time, and being somebody who has goodwill and what they call mutunchi in their heart. Any joker can have money. People who have money and don't have mutunchi, they fizzle out, and your money becomes useless. What is money after all? How many chickens can you eat? How many cars can you drive? The person will first buy new model, I ain't buy old model. Then you get. True. Thank you for that, Victor. Yeah, so if you have any submission to make, you can go ahead.
I'll probably speak to you next week, and then I'll just tell him that I can see this guy. He said you guys were once.
Never even mention him yet. Because now him and that lady are still in touch. Never even mention him yet. We'll go arrange as we go mention her so that shortly after we all meet up and everything. I don't want that lady to even have a link because she will look at it like I'm betraying her, and she's very, very high placed. You get, but definitely he would have like that guy with the fight now. So so you have to play this thing very carefully.
I'll just say around social circles.
It's political. Yeah. Okay. No. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, my brother. I don't know who was talking before. Okay. Dark Ram, you're on stage. Long I saw you. You want to say anything?
Yeah, so based on this getting involved, right? So there's, and the way I see it as, I put it in this three, right? So there's the politics part, where you say, okay, I want to be local government chairman, or I want to be house or whatever. There's also the ideological part where you want to be a traditional ruler or a pastor, imam, or whatever it is. And there's the economic parts where you want to be, say, a technocrat to get things done, right? You want to be around the business circles, whether you're in the bank or you're in construction or whatever. So I don't think, in my opinion, you necessarily have to run to a party, right, to be involved.
Yeah, correct.
Now, and depending on where you are, so let's say you are in the economic technocrat side, right? When you're doing your job, let's say you're a banker, highly placed banker, or investment banker, whatever it is, at every point in time, because the politics, they play politics at that level. At every point in time, try as much as possible to be aligning your networks together, right? Don't have unnecessary enemies.
Correct. God bless you. Don't have unnecessary enemies. Very important. Very important.
So just listen. It's a skill, right? How to connect a network that will help you connect someone.
How to navigate yes. How to navigate networks. Mm-hmm.
So always have that straight line. I know network means network. Upside down, zigzag. But always have that. I need to call 2 people to be able to get to Buhari kind of thing, right? Every person you meet, whether it's in a plane, airport, yes, in your school, your classmates, get that. Okay, where's this guy going? This guy is this. I will have his number. Don't be deleting people's number, right? Get that person's contact. Keep in touch. Before you know it, that guy will be placed somewhere that you can have access, to that power. A lot of politicians, Nigerian politicians, are beginning to understand the strength of being a technocrat. People that know how to organize, right? And Lagos State, for example, showed that very well. If you look at Lagos State, the people that become even governor are people that were good in what they do, right? Fashola, for example, was a son. Ambode was a career administrator, right? Even Sanwo-Olu, but these guys were actually friends or colleagues with other people when they were not in government. So imagine they know your capacity. And you also know people that, there are people that are leaders and there are people that can be politicians or politicians can pick them. If you have those contacts, you will see that you will be, the people making decisions for, say, NMPC, or for, say, maybe there's a policy document that needs to be written.
The political influence,
or even,
correct.
Yeah, or even law. Let's say they want to write financial bill now. They're not going to meet politicians to write that bill. But you see that financial bill, it is freaking important to politicians, right? So if you're involved in those people doing it, then you will now see that you're contributing, because at the end of the day, we want to contribute to how Nigeria can be great. You'll see that you're contributing immensely, to the way Nigeria is. So, that's my perspective. In those 3 aspects, try as much as possible to always have that 2 links. I need to call 2 people with the guy, the main boss or the politician or the president or governor that's making decisions.
So your perspective is 100% on target, especially what you said about, either lobbying National Assembly or being involved in these bills and whatever, and we learned that early enough, which is why we always took an interest in whoever led National Assembly, or you always have friends who are in National Assembly, because sometimes you have the House Committee chairman who could be useful, and stuff like that, because a lot of these guys don't even know what they're doing. They just become politicians, they get into the House of Reps, and they're giving committees because of whatever they contribute to the emergency speaker, whoever is speaker. And then they get a committee. And that committee, they have no clue. So the first thing they start to do is attend seminars, go abroad, read books, get higher aids and everything, and all these things, there's provision for it in their budget, in the house by the clerk. So they begin to grow on the job. And I remember one of the committee chairman that was given under Afenifere, used to work on Calabar. He was in where I stay in Abuja, and he was discussing with one lady who I knew, and she was educating him on how to do this, and from job after that, from Niger Delta, talking about how the white men are taking all the jobs. so many energy sector language, they were all new to him. He was lost. But now you can see he's aware of so many things to do with local content. He's now talking, he's now, getting involved in so many big things. It's so important. But at that first week or whatever, everything was daunting. So knowledge is key. So what I'm saying is, people on this clubhouse are people who are educated. If you've noticed, not everybody with their Facebook or Twitter for this clubhouse. But you cannot talk sense. It's hard for you to be on this clubhouse. You understand me? Even in the audience. In fact, people with the most sense, they're the ones in the audience. And when they come up and begin talking, is to correct you softly or to mention something you have missed. And you're like, this guy even sabi this thing. Pass me, that kind of thing. So you never, discount anybody's knowledge on matters. So people here have knowledge that those people in parliament don't have. But because they are the ones that are calling honorable, they are the ones that are allowed to enter National Assembly at any time of the day. They will block you. They will give you all kinds of reasons why you can't enter. And you can't go. But once the honorable calls the gate or his PA, they will come and drive you in. You go and talk to them. You will even feel intimidated when it enters that they are complex and you won't know what way you'll be thinking. But the fact is, you could be the one there if you got involved, for God's sake. I had a friend called Abdulmumin Jibrin. Abdulmumin Jibrin sponsored the magazine for one of my girlfriends, and we were on the front row together. And the top launcher was a guy called, the one we put on the, on the brochure anyway, was a guy called Farouk, what's his name again? Or this Farouk that sent me Farouk Lawan. So Farouk Lawan has been House Committee Chairman on Appropriations, and so he has made so much money and everything. So anyway, he was our chief launcher, and he was messing up, trying not to announce what he would donate. And when you come to that kind of launching and you slow it down from the beginning, you guys won't really grab much in donations from the crowd that came. So I remember Abdul Tala, these guys want to mess up this your launch. I know your other friends haven't come here, but I'm going to go and announce this amount. I will give you guys half of the amount, but about millions, I will give you guys half. So I will announce double just to get the fee. I said, okay, fine, go ahead. And I told the girl, I said, okay, no, go ahead. And he went there and he announced, and of course, by the very next day, he gave us the money, it was the millions, and he gave us the money cash. In National Assembly, they have an underground bank in National Assembly. So we got the money from there, and we were happy, and we became friends, and he was just admiring how we are operating in politics and everything. But he was now moved, and you know me and my story of getting involved. Long story short, he got involved, and he contested for reps against all odds, non-politicians. He contested for reps, and he won. And in his first winning, he wanted to be speaker. We had to fight him because we didn't want him to be speaker. It was to be given to either Morino or Ajibola or Mulika. But he wanted to be speaker. So I was with Morino's team, and we now, tried to talk with him. But he was young and just thinking because he had money. He had made some money under Obasanjo, and he just wanted to just take everything in first go. He lost out, but he got a good committee. I can't remember if he got House Committee Chairman on Finance, and later on he got appropriation. Then he now messed himself up, and this time around, any committee he wanted, he was going to get. But he told Femi that he won't take any committee because he's not going to remain in the house. He said, why? You are the hero, you are the everything. He said, well, the governor is going to remove me. But you won your election. The election will be nullified, and I will not win the rerun. What do you mean? With all your clout, yes, I'm popular and everything, but the governor has said I'm his sworn enemy because I suggested he step down for the PDP when he was losing election, and he has sworn that it's not him who will step down, it is me that will lose my seat. And nothing is going to make him change his mind. And sure enough, the party did anti-party after his election was nullified, and they made sure that the PDP took the seat, and he was out. But there was a plan to get him something as an MD by the speaker. Unfortunately, what we didn't know is that to be MD of FHA, Federal Housing Authority, you have to have a certified engineer qualification and correct and all that kind of thing. These are the things that people will say Nigeria is a zoo, but Nigeria actually adheres to certain strict and observational guidelines. So when they found out that this guy could not be given MD because that engineer current lack, they began stalling and there was a difficulty. So he was angry, he was even fighting the speaker. Everyone was telling him, look, you're the only person who kept in. There was a big battle. He was really crying like he has lost out after all this policy. But guess what? They made an arrangement and Benga Shafa, former Senate Committee Chairman on Land Transport, that was the railway, was now made the MD of FHA and Abdul was given ED, corporate services or something like that. But this is an ED. Simply because he's not an engineer, he cannot be the MD. But he's back there. But guess what? This guy at a point in time was so popular as a vibrant lawmaker. Just imagine if he didn't get involved. If he didn't have that problem with Farouk Lawan that made him feel I'm better than this guy. I remember at that time there was a song he was always playing on his phone. My dream is to fly over the rainbow so high. My dream is to fly over the rainbow so high. And for me, that song is so, if you Google it, it's a wonderful, like this UK dance tune. And I was like, this guy, we have a good taste. That's how we even bonded. And this guy has been somebody whose eyes are always looking up at the sky. And when you hear his gist, he was somebody who, he didn't come from a very posh background. And in fact, when they were in the university, he was always the one who slept in the mosque and will be sweeping the mosque early every morning. Very humble guy. But look at how God blessed him. Through Obasanjo, he made money, had a powerful company, and then he now was motivated. And he got into politics, and he became, I think, three-term lawmaker, very powerful lawmaker, House Committee Chairman on Finance. He was fighting Okonjo Iweala, House Committee Chairman on Appropriation. And then now, he could have had any committee he wanted, but he couldn't come back, so they gave him. So all this because he got involved. All this because he got involved. So if he calls speaker now, Femi must pick up his call or return his call. If you even come out and say that he makes Femi speaker, of course he wasn't the only one, he wasn't the one, but people will debate it because he was the DG of Femi Biamila's campaign. But guess what? He was the one who turned the table against Femi in 2015 and made Dogara to win. And that was how, even though Asiwaju said they should vote for Femi, this boy was able to side with PDP, Dogara, and Dogara became speaker. And Femi was now by force given minority leader until we now became majority in the house. Then Femi became majority leader. And then we now came back in 2019 and Femi finally became speaker. So just imagine if this young man who loves dancing to UK dance tunes chose not to enter politics. Would Dogara ever have been speaker? Would Femi have been speaker now? So many things may not have happened. And I give this example to just justify what I keep saying about the power of you getting involved. The question will change now. The question will change. Abdul was unknown. Today, you talk about his name, everybody look at him like one powerful politician. But this was somebody who looked at politicians like he could never be a politician. And I'm just trying to encourage people that the more you think I can't be a politician, I can't be. If you just make that move, you will understand it just like everyday life. It's like everyday life, especially if you're somebody who's like, man, what's the happen tonight now? Where are they go? Who they hang? Once you can do that, you can hang out in a political party. It's not called a party for nothing. Edward, how are you?
Not too good. So I was just listening to you and Victor's conversation.
Hey, yeah,
good to hear from you. It's been a while.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been quite busy. I've been traveling the whole of Europe and America, man.
I've been off Clubhouse for a while, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the back and forth is too much.
I know, my brother. Same thing every day. Anybody fighting back.
Exactly.
And then the worst thing is you make an enemy and you still defend him the next day. I mean, where's the seriousness? Are we in a cartoon film? Don't do cartoon films, though. If you have an enemy, deal with your enemy.
Yeah, I was listening to you. So how is APC? How is things moving there? It's like in February, are they going to do Southeast or?
Convention in February is going to the South by the grace of God. I mean, well, it's going to the North, East, or North Central, the chairmanship. That convention is for the party, but they will definitely zone the presidency to the South.
Southeast or just to the South?
South, for now, South. Let's not make any promises. We are fighting for Southeast, but there are so many things going on. If Asiwaju supports Southeast will get it one hand because he has the structure. But if he doesn't, then we are going to have to fight Asiwaju, and it may end up in the South.
Okay. That's
the point is just that we have to be that dynamic and make sure that you can work on. Even if one camp loses out, you now have to go and reconcile with whichever camp and work together with them, so you have a stake. Do you get it? There's no loser. It's just that, because if you get a gold medal, somebody has to get a silver, somebody has to get a bronze. Okay? So if you win a silver medal, you're still a winner. What we're saying is we have our own plans. We feel we can win. We feel we can produce the president. But if somebody else overpowers us or maneuvers us, we are also going to work with them and have a stake as a powerful bloc. Do you get it? So, we may either produce so many different things can happen. The government is an ocean. There are so many places where you can make a difference. But if you don't have a plan to make a difference and you get in there, that's when the problem comes. That's when the problem comes. Like the former power minister, he didn't have any plan to make any difference. You can see they removed him. And today they have sent in a new nomination for minister from his state. So he's gone.
With regards to that project, I'm just meeting bottleneck. So now,
with regards to what?
To that AGOWES project now.
The project you want to do, the conference?
Yeah. So the way
you go shelve that, I'm telling you, I'm sorry. Yeah. You go shelve them. Just shelve it. Yeah. You can use it as a platform to meet with some of these guys and have contact with them, but don't put it to your heart because everybody's eyes. So you can see February is going to be hot, and once that convention is happening, everybody's eyes on politics. By July next year, Buhari is more or less a shadow in Aso Rock, and everybody will be working with whoever is going to be the next president. That's the way it works.
That's why I've already shelved it.
Shelve it in your mind, but you keep pushing it so you have something that will put you in through the door whenever you meet people in government position. It's always wise to have something credible which you can discuss with them, and then from there you can move it to the next level. That's how you network. Don't just go in saying you must get what you want, but you have something credible you can discuss when you get into the door with them, and you can put it forward, and they'll tell you the same thing. Shelve it until next. Next
but I like it, we be Takarwa, to get government link up. I've just been meeting bottlenecks. So.
But you have it now. You have it now. Don't be lazy. You have it.
I don't. And even I had it now, I won't be meeting these bottlenecks. At least one or two.
Do you know that even the Minister of Finance of Nigeria, Hajia Zainab Shamsuna, she meets bottlenecks every day? Do you know that?
Yeah.
She meets bottlenecks. My brother, everybody has bottlenecks. Zainab Shamsuna wants one thing done, somebody else saying they are fighting them in the villa will overturn. Akpabio himself is facing bottle. Everybody faces those. You must bulldoze. Asiwaju himself is facing bottlenecks in this government. I'm sure all of you now know this. So what I'm saying is, if you want to be complaining about the bottlenecks, you move nowhere.
Sometimes I'm not complaining. I'm just like giving out my agreement, to an elder, so that anyhow you can just say, okay, my boy, okay, I've heard the whole gist. One or two things can happen, and we'll keep it to 2023.
No, but the thing you are pushing to me, is not feasible right now.
Yeah.
You must judge the mood of the nation. It's not feasible. The most important thing we are looking at now is insecurity issue. If you have some solution for the insecurity, by all means, I'm open to forwarding you to wherever at Abuja. But nobody is looking. You cannot have economic anything when there's insecurity.
Yes, but I like
insecurity is really tearing this country apart, bro.
Yeah, I understand, but Haraji Tala, like 2 weeks ago, CBN governor was saying they are going to do another international center in Eco Atlantic to attract $100 trillion hedge fund. And then I was wondering, what is the World Trade Center in Abuja doing? Is that not what it was supposed to do? And then they are going to build another one in Eco Atlantic.
The problem is there's something called the edifice complex. EDIFICE, the edifice complex. Google it. Perhaps if you have access to Amazon, you can order the book. I have the book. I think people like those in NFL have read that book, and they are beginning to understand the nexus between powerful edifices, which remain epicenters of economic power globally. So, the problem with Gordon NFL is he has too much money in front of him. Okay? And the people who put him in power, who were the people that he was like a houseboy to, they are dead. So nobody really can stop Gordon NFL from finishing this his 50-year term. Gordon NFL is a law unto himself right now. He's a law unto himself. So nobody can tell Gordon NFL anything. But guess what? He was doing boy for years, but natural selection law, his organs died off, one after the other. First was the chief of staff, and then Madam Issa Funtua. And once they left, there was nobody left to check MFLA because Mamandara worked with proxy, Abacha, the chief of staff. So right now, there's nobody who can control Godwin MFLA, and he's statutorily there for the completion of his second term of 5 years. And the money in front of him is too much. It's too much. So Godwin MFLA can do whatever he wants to do. He wants to do something called Infraco, Infrastructure Company of Nigeria. He sent out bids. We participated to bring in what they call money managers for the fund. It was going to be like a sovereign wealth fund times 100 on steroids for the country.
Yeah, I think it was 35 billion US dollars.
Infraco. It was going to even Infraco, and we even sent in nominees for who will be on the board when it comes out. It was to be on the VP's office, but CBN governor has hijacked it, and right now nobody has heard of Infraco again. Now he wants to do something like build some buildings. Probably he's been discussing with his friend Abishino, and they are working on what they can. The money is just there. People like MFLA. When you are a money manager, making money is quite easy because you're putting the money in investments which are effective vehicles, and they are bringing returns for you because you place a healthy bet, and the money available to MFLA is humongous. Okay, so MFLA can do whatever he wants, and
I remember that Infraco, 35 billion US dollars.
Yes, Infraco is a big thing, but it was to come out in October. It hasn't come out yet. November. Now we're in December, so possibly next year.
Yeah,
so,
and that is something. I think that's something that would have attracted.
No, like I told you, we have an interesting. It's a very, very good program. It's a very, very good program. Very, very. It's all about infrastructure. It's all about because there's a depth of funds for infrastructure in Nigeria and in Africa. Okay, and what happened was the way they sold the idea to President Buhari was they gave the Dubai example of how Dubai was able to develop. There were no bureaucracies in funds being released for execution of infrastructure jobs in Dubai. And that was because of the vision of the founders, and the rulers. Maktoum and all those guys, whatever. But with Nigeria, even if the president approves 20 billion for something, by the time the House of Reps get the deeds and they want to get a stake and the palm sex and it will be frustrated. So that Infraco is going to have happy money where they can do all these projects.
Yes, so
like a global development finance institution. So Infraco is a win-win.
Yeah, I like the Talab, but you see that my project practically is a
PPP in the sense that something like infracode right now, right? It will just make it move. It will just make it that okay, because money has emotions. So that is, I think, where there is an issue with attracting funding to Nigeria. So the project practically puts the emotional intelligence into play, the sustainability into play, and then 100 companies specifically that are black owned that will make sure that the money circulates within companies of interest. That means the money is even making interest on itself, because since it's going to be circulating a circular economy rather than the capital flight we are having, where investors at any point can just remove the money.
But where is the money? Where is the money coming from?
Like that's what I'm saying. Like the companies will bring.
Which companies? Which companies?
I have a whole list of them, 100 companies.
Bro, look. Let's not kid ourselves here, okay? Look, this Nigeria you are seeing is a very, very powerful country. Okay?
Yes.
It's a country that provides you a platform.
Yeah.
My personal situation, what I've done is to use Nigeria as a country as a platform.
Yes.
Okay? And when you have a platform like the presidency of a sovereign nation like Nigeria, you will have access to the most powerful leaders around the world. It's not a joke. You will have access to the most powerful lending institutions around the world, because you're coming on a platform that is a nation, a country, and that country is oil-rich, controversial Nigeria. Okay? So, if Jamie Dimon, could not come in and get a deal in Nigeria, what level of investors are honestly coming in to get a deal in Nigeria? If you have the money for infrastructure, you don't even need the government. All you will do is partner with the government and put your money to good use on the ground. You can do PPPs like new district infrastructure in Abuja. It's open. Why haven't you gone there? If your guys have the money, and I'm being very honest, bro, because look, I know this thing, people will come, we have investors, we have money, everybody has investors, but at the end of the day, is that, part of the funding that the government puts forward, that everybody is putting their eye on. Because what happens is, that government commitment fund is the one they use to leverage their lenders to now bring some more money. But everybody starts chopping from. So it's all about, the government bringing their own counterpart funding. So I understand these things very, very well. So don't get me wrong. I went to your proposal. I saw what you're talking about. It's a good idea, but it's not as practicable as you think in person. You need to have real money, as in your investors, if you want to really, work with the Nigerian government. Nigerian government right now is open to anybody who is bringing their money. But is your money safe? Is your investment safe? Shell, that is Shell Petroleum. They want to exit some of their stuff in Nigeria. And they're not even waiting for some certain payments they are being owed. They just want